Okay, guys. Heading home. I got the Pepto. Check. I got the wood. And I bungeed it in like a champ. I got the air compressor, which was heavy as heck. And I couldn't find anybody to help me get it into the truck. Because it's hard to lift out of a cart, you know, to get a good grip on it. And there was this sweet lady that said, I got you. And she came and helped me get one bottom and I got the other bottom. And that's all she wrote. 2 women and we did it. And that's good. So, now, I'm driving home. Oh, I did stop. So here's the thing. I had to stop and get a bottle of alcohol. Scott had ran out of his. So I usually go to the store in Stillwell. But anyway, because I was here, I stopped at the one that was right down the road from here. So anyway, when I lived back in Berlin in New Jersey, they start, I don't know if you guys have it around wherever you're at, but they started Firehouse Subs. And it started after Katrina, and it started with, firemen started it. And a lot of the proceeds went to the victims of Katrina and everything. Well, I fell in love with the one in Berlin. I mean, they made really good, I think it was the hook and ladder that I liked. So anyway, I see it, so that's what we're having for lunch / dinner / I've been really lazy about cooking, but tomorrow I'm gonna go home tonight and take something out for tomorrow. That's the problem. I forget to take something out, and then it's like. But so Scott got a grilled ham and cheese last night, but. And Scott's easy. I mean, I have stuff to do, his beanies and weenies, which I always laugh when I say. But that's a childhood staple that he loves. So when all else fails, it's got to be, for me though, the only hot dogs that I like are Frank's. Nathan's. I don't know why I said Frank's. You know, because I was thinking Frank's. Anyway, Nathan's hot dogs, skinless, are my favorite hot dogs, and I will eat them every once in a while when I make the beanies and weenies. And I think that's what we're having for dinner. If my battery runs out, I'm telling you now, if my battery runs out, sorry, it's not that I'm cutting you off, but my battery's been going quick lately, like really, really fast. It used to last me a really long time. And it doesn't anymore. So, there's that. And I can't get this freaking green and orange chicken out of my head. Come on, guys, you gotta admit, I showed you the picture of it in the short, in one of my shorts. So, go watch one of my shorts, and this chicken is everything that I need. Plus, it's good to hide under. It'll be a great part of the chicken coop. So, I'm going to get one. Not this month. Hopefully next month I won't have to help my daughter out and I can start saving money again. Although I can see a lot of money going to the chickens. They had a lot of neat stuff in there. I'm not gonna lie. And I do need stuff for them to hide under for the big area. Not the run, but the big area. I'm gonna have a little side, like a corner, that's gonna have an area just for shade. And they can get shade under the chicken coop along with their sand bath that's going to be in a kiddie pool. And trying to think of what else to use for shade. I don't really want to, because AI was telling me, just put a table. I don't really want to put a table in there, like, but like some type of potted bush, maybe. I don't know. I have to think about this. But I know that chicken would be a great place. And don't you think that big old chicken will scare a lot of the predators off? I do. I think it's a win-win for the chickens and me. It's such a cool chicken. And that's all I got. My legs are hurting. Let me just say something. Scott asked me to get more wood, so he gave me a sample piece, and I was able to find that on my own. And I sent him a picture of, the price and what it was. And he said, yep, that's the right one. So I got that. And I found where the compressors were, but the compressor itself was really heavy. So I asked this guy for help that worked there. And he acted like I was, I don't know, interrupting his workday. I don't know. And he literally threw it, like banged it into my cart, that the sample wood that I had got lodged somehow in the shopping cart itself. I was telling you, this lady that works there, she happened to be out in the parking lot and saw me struggling trying to get it in to the back of the truck, the back seat. So she helped me, and like she was able to push it up so I could get a grip on the bottom, and then she got a grip, and then we got it in there. But she had to pry that piece of wood out because that guy was just rude. Nothing like the awesome guy we had. No, that Lowe's is usually never a problem for me. I never have issues with that Lowe's. So I can't really complain about it. But I will say that he was very rude. And nothing like, I think the kid's name was, I don't know, Nathan, or I forget what it was, that we had it at Home Depot that helped us. He was amazing when we had all that wood and everything. He was amazing. So hopefully Scott will like. I only got one large hoagie and figured we'd split it because neither one of us have been really wanting to eat, but he has to eat. I don't know. I know with diabetes you have to, he knows his body, so, plus it's hot out, and who wants to eat? Who wants to cook in the RV? Everything now's probably, well, this week we're getting storms, supposedly. So, I will probably cook inside. But, once it's outside time, it's grilling. I love to grill. Yeah, I love to grill. I love our griddle. The pizza oven, I like the idea of the pizza oven. It blows over with wind. I've just left it on the ground now. And we'll see once things calm down if there's a way we can get it pretty stable, That's the goal. And then to make pizza again. But again, if you have a craving for pizza, now I know I can make it and freeze the dough, but then you have to remember to take it out on the day you're craving it and wait for it to defrost. I know I'm bitching about nothing really. It shouldn't even be considered an inconvenience at this point with everything going on in the world today, and I'm bitching about a pizza oven. Storage. Every time I pass storage, I want to stop in and get. Okay, so I told you guys I've been trying to teach myself crocheting, right? And I know how to make one long leg. That's as far as I've got. 2 years. And it's, again, my brain doesn't work with YouTube watching it and trying to learn that way. Because of when I had the accident, I have really hard issues with short-term memory issues and learning new things. So I really have to be in front of you and watch you, and you have to like really show me. So anyway, crocheting was such a great thing to figure I could teach myself. So in storage, I do have macrame kits because I'm going to teach myself to macrame. Now, before I left, I did do like practice the knots because I have a book, and the book literally, it's like you lay it out on a pattern, and then, you know, so maybe I'll make everybody a macrame something for Christmas or your birthday. I don't know. But that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And I just want to get home. I want to eat something. And I'm still not ready to plant the tree. Maybe tonight after the sun goes down. Not goes down, but you know, it gets a little cooler. Digging a hole with a shovel is hard work. Like, because you have to make the hole, well, for the peach tree, I did. You have to make the hole 2 times the diameter of the pot that it's in. And then you have to get it deep enough that only 1 inch is above ground. You know what I'm saying? Understand? So yeah, that was some digging, but I will get the next one in. I was going to stop and look at the cherry trees, but I said, you know what? I don't feel like dealing with putting it back there. I don't know if you guys remember my story about bunging the damn peach trees. I literally stopped every probably 10 minutes because it felt like anytime a car went by, it would go sideways, and I was worried about this one coming out. Nothing came out. It was secure, but it was my own insecurities. I got this wood down so tight in the back, it's not going anywhere. Scott better be impressed with my bungee abilities by now. You know how I can tell it's going to rain? That rain is coming. My ankles and my hips ache. That's how I know it's coming. But we need the rain. We definitely need the rain, so I'm not complaining. Yeah, the rain is a good thing. A nice soaking rain is what we need. And I was going to go out and weed whack the area where the coop is going to go. I might still do that later, but as of this moment, my answer's no. Maybe when it cools down, I don't know, dig a tree, weed whack the whole chicken coop area. I don't know. Do nothing, maybe. Who knows? So I talked to my mom this morning. I love my mom. She's so funny. She's just so cute. Like, she's just so cute. She still goes to the gym and she does her walk. And when I was out in California, she had a stroke. Luckily, they got her the clot buster medicine, and she's doing really well. The only issue she said she still has is her one hand. like it gets like a numb feeling, or weak, she says, is how she describes it. But before this happened, my mom went every day to the gym. Every morning she would go to Planet Fitness gym, and then she would also, besides that, walk 8 miles a day. So she texted me the other day, she's like, I walked 5.11 miles or something like that. So she's all excited that she's getting back up to where she was. And now that the weather's, my mom is the type, she can't sit still. We're not the same. We are not the same people, because if I asked my mom to binge watch a series with me, she would last maybe 20 minutes. Me, I could lay in bed all friggin' weekend and binge shows. So we're not alike that way. We're alike in a lot of ways, and it's funny because the older I get, the more I realize that I am a lot more like my mom than I thought I was. And I'm really happy about that. Like, that is not a bad thing, because my mom is a very strong woman. She's pretty fabulous, actually. And I gave her a rough time growing up. Not gonna lie. I was, I had the middle child syndrome and thought everybody hated me, and, the way I got attention was negative attention. I mean, I wasn't like a juvenile delinquent or anything. The funniest thing is, I got caught in everything I did. I cut school. This is like, it's almost like I wanted to be caught so I could get the negative attention, because it was like, who cuts school and then hitchhikes down the middle of your hometown where your mom works? And it's a very small hometown. Everybody knows everybody. So it took 5 minutes for her to find out. The time I ran away, my neighbor called my mom and said, yeah, Donna's on her 10-speed. She's running away to her friend's house. She's going to live in his boat. And, my mom would be like, I gave her a run for her money. She didn't deserve a lot of it. She really did. But it was teens being teens. I think that's why I was so afraid of having a girl, because I thought that, and again, I wasn't a bad kid, but my mom and I butted heads throughout my entire childhood. And I did, that was my biggest fear with my kids. So I really overcompensated for that. And I know this. I know that I overcompensated, but I'm not going to complain, because I have some good kids. You know what I mean? 6'7". I hate that. I don't even know what that means. I don't know why I just did that. It was because I was doing you weigh the good and the bad. But Josie's going to be a senior in college this year coming up. And, she's making it work. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm going to go. Just wanted to check in and let you know how everything went. I'm on my way home. All right, guys, take care.